Good evening to all our viewers joining us at this broadcast on DD India NewsHour. Now to begin with the top story of the hour. US President Donald Trump reportedly spoke to Russian President Vladimir Putin over the phone to discuss ending the long-standing conflict in Ukraine. According to a New York Post report, Trump said that Putin wants to see people stop dying. Trump was also quoted saying that he better not say how many times he had spoken with Putin, but touted a good relationship with his Russian counterpart. The US president expressed hope that Russia-Ukraine conflict, which is nearing its third anniversary, ends fast. He had previously vowed to end the conflict within 24 hours of taking the office. Meanwhile, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov on Sunday said he could neither confirm nor deny reports of a conversation between President Putin and President Trump. Updates from West Asia now. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has hailed US President Donald Trump as Israel's greatest friend ever during an interview with Fox News. Speaking on Saturday, Netanyahu also stressed the need to stop Iran's nuclear ambitions and secure the release of remaining hostages.
I think President Trump is the greatest friend that Israel has ever had in the White House. I think he's not only making a tremendous change in the Israeli-American alliance, strengthening it beyond anything we've seen up to now, but also he's a great leader for America and for the world. And all of that comes together in this meeting between two great allies, America and Israel. We still have an issue. The President and I discussed it. Iran's quest for nuclear weapons. They cannot be allowed to have nuclear weapons. We both agree on that. And we also have to finish off what remains of Hamas while we try to get all our hostages out. We agree on all that.
Israeli security forces have expanded their military operation in the occupied West Bank, which is now targeting Nur Shams region. The large-scale counter-terrorism operation, which began in Jenin in January, involves the military, police and intelligence agencies. According to Israeli officials, several militants have been killed and multiple wanted suspects have been detained. The Israeli military withdrew from the Netzarim corridor dividing northern and southern Gaza in line with the ceasefire deal with Hamas. Large number of Gazans were seen moving north along Salah al-Din Street on Sunday following Israel's withdrawal from the area. Vehicles lined up at checkpoints as Gazans attempted to return to their homes in the north. The withdrawal comes after the latest release of Israeli hostages by Hamas. Saudi Arabia has firmly rejected Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's remarks on displacing Palestinians. In a statement on Sunday, the Saudi Foreign Ministry affirmed its categorical rejection of the Israeli Prime Minister's remarks about displacing Palestinians from their land. Israeli officials have reportedly suggested creating a Palestinian state on Saudi territory, a proposal that has drawn sharp condemnation from Egypt and Jordan. The fate of Palestinians living in Gaza has been upended after US President Donald Trump's shock proposal of taking over the land last week. Trump also claimed that Saudi Arabia was not demanding a Palestinian state as a condition for normalizing ties with Tel Aviv. However, Riyadh has clarified that it would not establish ties with Israel without the creation of a Palestinian state. Now, Egypt announced an emergency Arab summit on the 27th of February to discuss serious developments for Palestinians amid regional and global condemnation of US President Donald Trump's suggestion to take over the Gaza Strip. In a joint press conference with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu last week, US President Donald Trump had suggested to take over the Gaza Strip and create a Riviera of the Middle East after resettling Palestinians elsewhere. Meanwhile, Egyptian Foreign Minister Badr Abdelati traveled to Washington on Sunday for talks with senior officials from the new Trump administration and the members of Congress. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu ordered negotiators to return to Qatar to discuss the fragile Gaza ceasefire. The working-level delegation was authorized to travel to Qatar for technical discussions of the ongoing hostage ceasefire deal after the fifth hostage prisoner swap agreed under the truce was completed on Saturday. Hamas have so far freed 21 hostages, including 16 Israelis, in exchange for hundreds of Palestinian prisoners released from Israeli jails. The ceasefire, mediated by Qatar, Egypt and the United States, aims to secure the release of 17 more hostages during the remainder of the 42-day first phase. Family members, relatives and supporters of Israelis hostages protested on Saturday, demanding for immediate release of all the hostages. The protesters said they were shocked by the condition of 3 released hostages and worried about the physical and mental state of the remaining ones. The frail, disoriented appearances of 3 freed hostages on Saturday sparked dismay among their relatives. The trio appeared thin, weak and pale, in worse conditions than the 18 other hostages already freed under the truce. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the sight of the frail hostages was shocking and would be addressed. The families of Thai farm workers held hostage in Gaza for over a year wept with joy and hugged their loved ones as they arrived in Bangkok on Sunday. The 5 Thais smiled as they walked into the arrivals hall at Bangkok's Suvarnabhumi airport after being freed on the 30th of January as part of a ceasefire deal aimed at ending the Gaza conflict. The Thai nationals landed in Bangkok at 7:30 a.m. local time on Sunday and were met by overjoyed relatives and officials from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. When Hamas attacked Israel on the 7th of October, 31 Thais were abducted, with 23 released by the end of that year and 2 confirmed dead in May last year. 1 Thai national is still believed to be alive in Gaza. A new government was formed in Lebanon on Saturday after more than 3 weeks of talks with rival political parties. New Prime Minister Nawaf Salam said the 24-member cabinet would prioritize financial reforms, reconstruction and the implementation of a United Nations resolution that is seen as a cornerstone to stability on the Lebanese border with Israel. The Christian Lebanese Forces Party, which is fiercely opposed to Hezbollah and has not been part of a cabinet in more than 5 years, also picked 4 ministers, including Foreign Affairs Minister and Energy Minister. Speaking to reporters at the Presidential Palace, Salam said he hoped the politically diverse cabinet would work in harmony.
Now that we have announced the government, which I hope will be a government of reforms and salvation, I would like to emphasize the following points, which I place at the top of my priorities. First, reform is the only path to the real salvation, and this requires the government to ensure security and stability in the Lebanon by completing the implementation of Resolution 1701 and the ceasefire agreement and following up on Israel's withdrawal to the last inch of Lebanese territory. This is in conjunction with reconstruction, which I previously said is not a promise but a commitment.
Now, Iran was ready to negotiate with the United States, but with one key condition. It cannot be done under the framework of maximum pressure policy of US President Donald Trump. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has made it clear that lifting sanctions will require negotiations, but not under the maximum pressure strategy, which would essentially be a form of surrender. The statement comes on the heels of Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's urging to the government to avoid negotiating with Washington, labeling it as a reckless approach. In 2015, Iran made a landmark deal with several world powers, including the US, to regulate its nuclear program in exchange for easing international sanctions. However, in 2018, Trump withdrew the US from the agreement and reinstated heavy sanctions on Tehran despite opposition from European countries. Now, US President Donald Trump has revoked security clearances for former Secretary of State Antony Blinken and former National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan. The decision comes a day after Trump stripped the security clearance of former President Joe Biden, which would stop his access to daily intelligence briefings. Trump also revoked security clearances for Biden's Deputy Attorney General, Lisa Monaco, who helped coordinate the Department of Justice's response to the 6th of January attack. Trump also removed the clearances of New York Attorney General Letitia James and Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, both of whom led the cases against Donald Trump. Shifting focus to Europe now, Ukraine's military reported an overnight drone attack by Russia targeting multiple regions. According to Ukraine's Air Force, 70 drones were shot down, while 74 failed to reach their targets, likely due to electronic warfare. 2 drones remained airborne as of the latest update. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that over this week, Russia had launched 1,260 aerial bombs, almost 750 drones, and more than 10 missiles of various types against Ukraine. Meanwhile, Russian troops took control of the settlement of Orikovo-Vasilovka in Ukraine's eastern Donetsk region on Sunday. Now, in his first official foreign visit in his new role, Giuseppe Cavusoglu, the chair of NATO Military Committee, arrived in Ukraine. President Volodymyr Zelensky met him and visited a defense industry enterprise. Both the leaders reviewed the capacities and characteristics of Ukraine's long-range weaponry. Key topics of the discussion included preparations for the upcoming Ramstein meeting, continued military assistance from NATO member states, and direct investments in domestic production of long-range drones. Zelensky expressed gratitude to him for making his first foreign visit in the role specifically to Ukraine. He also thanked the people working on Ukraine's long-range weapons for the tangible results, which are greatly helping them, feared by the Russians and recognized by NATO partners. The 3 Baltic states will connect to the European Union's power grid after they seamlessly severed Soviet-era ties with Russia's network, which is a shift motivated by security concerns. Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania, former Soviet states that are now European Union and NATO members, have been keen to make the change since Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022. The war struck fear into the small Baltic countries that they too would be targeted. The staunch Ukraine supporters also worried that Russia would blackmail them via the electricity system. The Baltic states have been operating as a so-called energy island after decoupling from the Moscow-controlled electricity network early Saturday. They have since tested their frequency or power levels to assure Europe their system is stable, according to Lithuania's state-run grid operator Litgrid. Now, polls have opened across Kosovo on Sunday in legislative elections taking place against a backdrop of an ailing economy and renewed tensions between ethnic Albanians and Serbs. Eligible voters will cast their ballots to elect 120 lawmakers among 26 political groupings and 1 independent candidate in what is being seen as a key test for incumbent Prime Minister Albin Kurti. Now, this is the first time since independence in 2008 that Kosovo's parliament has completed a full 4-year mandate. Over 2 million registered voters, including those in the diaspora, are casting their ballots to elect 120 lawmakers from 26 political groupings and 1 independent candidate. The outcome will significantly influence the direction of Kosovo's foreign policy and economic development. We are heading for a short break, but still to come on DD India NewsHour. Elon Musk slams US government payment systems, alleges $100 billion annual fraud. Tragic bus accident claims at least 41 lives in southern Mexico. And up next, we'll get you all the latest action from the upcoming Paris AI Action Summit 2025.
Big cities now remind us of traffic, poor air quality, bad sanitation, concrete and little to no greenery. And it is our responsibility to figure out ways to improve our city life.
Failing on segregating waste, which is extremely important. The moment you segregate waste, it's all in control.
They can function
efficiently and you can completely take advantage of the capacity of these processing centers only when waste is segregated at.
The fungus is great for building because through the mycelium, the root structure of the fungus that grows underground, and that interlinking creates a more stable material.
People around each lake should come together and take the initiative to save their lakes. The government has proved itself ready to do their part as well. If the people are determined to save nature, change will not be difficult.
Welcome back after that short break. You're watching DD India NewsHour. Now, African leaders at a historic summit urged direct talks to resolve the crisis in eastern Congo, including with allegedly Rwanda-backed M23 rebels. The rebels' capture of Goma in January escalated fighting, leaving thousands dead. Despite a unilateral ceasefire, they continue to advance. The summit reflects the continent's concern over the crisis and Congo-Rwanda standoff. Leaders agreed to merge peace processes, engage M23 and consider additional facilitators. Defense chiefs were urged to meet within 5 days to facilitate an immediate ceasefire. The conflict has displaced thousands, with hundreds sheltering in informal camps like schools. Displaced Congolese face dire conditions, with rainwater dripping through cracked ceilings and women cooking outdoors in the rain. The escalating conflict has prompted protests from displaced individuals who question where they will go once the classes resume. The governor of South Kivu urges calm as M23 rebels advance on Bukavu, sparking fear and panic among the city's 1 million inhabitants amid ongoing clashes.
I would like to reassure the population of South Kivu and the Congolese population in general. Contrary to the media campaign, which is the enemy's digital army, trying to do everything to intoxicate the population by saying that there is a serious insecurity in South Kivu. This is not the case.
Now, Namibia's first democratically elected president and a key leader in the country's fight for independence, Sam Nujoma, passed away at the age of 95 on Saturday. Nujoma played a major role in freeing Namibia from South Africa's rule and became the president on 21st March 1990. In 2005, he was officially recognized as the founding father of the Namibian nation. While he was widely respected for leading Namibia to independence, Nujoma also faced criticism for his stance against critical media, his opposition to homosexuality, and a 1998 constitutional change that allowed him to serve as the third term as the president. Moving on, at least 41 people were killed in a tragic bus accident in southern Mexico on Saturday. The bus with 48 people on board was traveling between Cancun and Tabasco that collided with a truck and resulted in deaths of 38 passengers, 2 bus drivers and a truck driver. Meanwhile, recovery efforts are still underway as the officials continue to search the wreckage. Tours Acosta, the bus operator, expressed deep regret over the incident via a Facebook post and pledged to work alongside the authorities to uncover the cause of the accident. A strong earthquake with a magnitude of at least 7.5 hit the Caribbean. A US judge blocked Elon Musk's team from accessing sensitive Treasury Department data, citing concerns over unauthorized access. The temporary order, effective until the 14th of February, restricts access to payment systems and data for non-Treasury personnel. Musk, who's leading Trump's cost-cutting efforts, denounced the judge as an activist and accused Democrats of hiding a massive fraud scheme. The case was brought by 19 states' attorney generals, alleging the administration violated the law by expanding access to sensitive data. Judge Engelmeyer blocked Elon Musk's team from accessing sensitive Treasury data, citing risk of disclosure and hacking. The lawsuit alleges Trump allowed an unelected billionaire to infiltrate federal agencies, posing huge risk to sensitive data. And Elon Musk, who's the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, on Sunday voiced strong concerns about the US government's payment systems, revealing troubling inefficiencies and potential fraud worth over $100 billion every year. In a post on social media platform X, Musk said that the Treasury Department and his Department of Government Efficiency have reached an agreement changing reporting requirements for all outgoing government payments. The government payments will now have a payment categorization code for auditing purposes, he wrote on X, also highlighting key reforms that need to be implemented. Further, Elon Musk raised the implementation of the Do Not Pay list that identifies entities involved in fraudulent activities and called for the list to be updated at least weekly, if not daily, pointing out to $100 billion per year to the individuals with no social security number or temporary ID number and called it extremely suspicious. We're heading for a short break. We'll be right back.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Goa, a wild nature paradise, where over a third of the state remains wild today, and every corner is full of surprises.
Welcome back after that short break. You're watching DD India NewsHour. Now, Meta Platforms, Facebook's parent company, plans to lay off employees next week, affecting about 5% of its lowest performers. Notifications will be sent out starting Monday, the 12th of February. However, employees in Germany, France, Italy, and the Netherlands are exempt due to local regulations. Meanwhile, the company will expedite hiring for critical engineering roles, including machine learning engineers, from the 11th February till the 13th of March. This move aims at aligning with Meta's priorities for 2025. Shifting focus to Asia Pacific, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un criticized trilateral military cooperation among the United States, Japan and South Korea for raising tensions in the region and vowed countermeasures, including the further development of nuclear forces. During a visit to the Defense Ministry on Saturday to commemorate the founding day of its army, Kim said that North Korea does not want unnecessary tension of the regional situation but will take sustained countermeasures to ensure the regional military balance. US President Donald Trump, after meeting on Friday with Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba, said he would have relations with North Korea as they expressed concerns over its nuclear program. Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba expressed optimism that his country could avoid higher US tariffs, saying President Donald Trump had recognized Japan's huge investment in the US and the American jobs that it creates. Tokyo has so far escaped the trade war Trump unleashed in his first weeks in office. He's announced tariffs on goods from Canada, Mexico and China, although he postponed the 25% duties on his North American neighbors to allow for talks. The escalating trade tensions since Trump returned to the White House on the 20th of January threatened to rupture the global economy. Ishiba voiced optimism that Japan and the US can avoid a tit-for-tat tariff war, stressing that tariffs should be put in place in a way that benefits both the sides. Trump pressed Ishiba to close Japan's $68.5 billion annual trade surplus with Washington, but expressed optimism that this could be done quickly, given a promise by Ishiba to bring Japanese investment in the US to $1 trillion. At least one was killed and 28 people were found missing after a landslide in southwestern China. The landslide that hit Jinping village in Sichuan province buried 10 houses and trapping several residents. According to a statement by the country's Emergency Management Bureau, a command center has been set up at the scene. The President of China, Xi Jinping, also directed an all-out rescue of those trapped. The Ministry of Emergency Management of China highlighted that 100 emergency workers are searching for survivors, and so far around 200 people have been rescued. New Zealand will relax visa rules to attract more foreign investors in an effort to stimulate economic growth. Immigration Minister Erica Stanford said the country's investor visa category would be made simpler and more flexible to encourage investors to choose New Zealand for their capital, skills and international connections. The changes, which are to take effect from the 1st of April, follow the government's recent relaxation of visa rules, allowing holiday makers to work remotely while visiting the country, aimed at boosting its tourism sector. After slipping into a technical recession in the third quarter of 2024, the New Zealand government is seeking ways to bolster economic growth. In January, it announced plans to set up in West New Zealand, part of the government's International Economic Development Agency, to serve as a one-stop shop for overseas investment. India and France, two nations rich in history, culture and innovation, share a deep-rooted relationship that has only grown stronger over the years. As both the nations collaborate on cutting-edge technology, sustainable development and global security, their bond continues to shape the world stage. DD India's Taposh Bhattacharya gives us more details from Paris. Take a look.
India and France, the two nations rich in history, culture and innovation, share a deep-rooted relationship that has grown stronger over the years. From strategic defense cooperation to cultural ties, this partnership is built on mutual respect and shared global aspirations. Defense and strategic partnership. Now, when we talk about defense and strategic partnership between these two countries, one of the strongest pillars of India-France relationship is defense cooperation. France has been a key supplier of advanced military technology to India. The Rafale fighter jets, the Scorpion submarines and joint military exercises like Varuna in the Indian Ocean highlight their commitment to security and maritime cooperation. Both the nations support a free, open and stable Indo-Pacific region, countering the challenges like piracy and regional conflicts. Space and technology. India and France are pioneers in space exploration. The Indian Space Research Organization, that is the ISRO, and the French Space Agency collaborate on climate monitoring, satellite launches and deep space mission. This partnership helps both nations in tackling climate changes and advancing scientific research. Energy and climate change. As co-founders of the International Solar Alliance, India and France are committed to renewable energy. They work together on clean energy projects aiming for a sustainable future. Their joint efforts in nuclear energy also plays a crucial role in reducing carbon emission. Education and culture. From literature to cinema, India and France share a vibrant cultural exchange. Thousands of Indian students study in France thanks to scholarship and partnership between universities. French fashion, food and languages are gaining popularity in India, while Indian music, yoga and festivals are celebrated in France. With shared values of liberty, democracy and innovation, India and France continue to strengthen their relationship. With Prime Minister Modi's visit, this relationship between the two countries set to reach new heights in global diplomacy, security and cultural exchange. Two nations, one vision towards a brighter future. with campus and rockets. This is Namo Bharat for DD India from Paris.
And now let's take a look at other stories making news around the world in brief. Sotheby's achieved over $17 million at its first ever auction in Saudi Arabia, featuring a collection of artworks and rare artifacts that blend regional heritage with global creativity. Renowned fashion designer Prabal Gurung showcased his 2025 fall collection during a runway show at New York Fashion Week. Gurung drew inspiration from current affairs for all his fall 2025 collection, creating a lineup focused on offering comfort during uncertain times. In the rugged mountains of Haras, west of Yemen's capital, Sana'a, Yemeni coffee is now being elevated to new heights through an emerging technique called controlled fermentation. Rather than relying solely on traditional sun drying, Yemeni farmers are experimenting with a more deliberate fermentation process. And on this day in 1955, South Africa's apartheid government began forcibly removing residents from Sophia Town, a vibrant mixed-race neighborhood west of Johannesburg, as part of its racial segregation policy. The anniversary comes at a time when South Africa faces renewed international scrutiny over its land reform policies. Time to take a short break, but still to come on DD India NewsHour. Aam Aadmi Party leader Atishi submits resignation to Lieutenant Governor after AAP loses Delhi elections. Southern Indian city of Bengaluru all set to host Asia's premier aerospace and defence exhibition, Aero India 2025. And up next, we'll get you all the latest action from Maha Kumbh 2025. Welcome back after that short break. You're watching DD India NewsHour. Now let's quickly recap top headlines of the hour. US President Donald Trump says he has spoken to Putin on ending war in Ukraine as Russia-Ukraine conflict approaches its third anniversary. Israel begins troop withdrawals from Gaza's strategic Netzarim corridor under ceasefire deal. And 31 Naxalites killed, 2 security personnel martyred in Chhattisgarh's Bijapur encounter. Home Minister says will completely eradicate Naxalism before 31st March 2026. Well, India's relationship with France has reached new heights over the past decade. And with the vast talent pool, top tech companies are eager to collaborate with India. Kumar Ananda, who is the president of the Chamber of Commerce in France, emphasized this growing partnership as both the nations anticipate Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Paris.
Joining me is Kumar Ananda, the president of Chamber of Commerce Franco-Indian, to talk about Prime Minister Modi's visit to Paris. It's a 2-day visit, sir, and I believe that everybody, especially the Indian community and people who have been here, who believe in India-French ties, are all excited.
Is a major milestone for India and for France. We have been very instrumental also in supporting this initiative. Last year in December, we did a bilateral summit on AI, and this summit that is going to open on Monday in Paris, where the PM Modi is expected to be here as well for the launching ceremony. It is a new milestone for the bilateral relationships. First, it sets a geopolitical stage for AI, and why I think India and France will have a voice.
Now we are moving towards new domain. AI is a very new domain. Do you believe that India has the potential to truly lead from the front?
India is going to lead that change today, and on the belief, I would say, can India become that AI player?
So that's Kumar Ananda telling us that he has never seen India-France relationship never touched such a high, and it is imperative that both countries take this particular aspect forward. And with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to France is expected to give a much-needed impetus for both the countries to move along, not just in defense but also in sectors which are upcoming, just like artificial intelligence. With camperson Rakesh, this is Taposh Bhattacharya for DD India from Paris.
Now, India's ties with France have strengthened significantly, creating new opportunities for the Indian diaspora to thrive. As anticipation builds for Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Paris, the diaspora is eager to welcome him. DD India's Taposh Bhattacharya spoke with the community members about their excitement. Take a listen.
In the heart of Paris, there is a small India that lives, breathes and talks about India. It is here in Paris that Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be coming on 10th and 11th of February to take part in the AI Summit and also the bilaterals. Let's find out from the Indian community in the diaspora what they think about Prime Minister Modi's visit and how excited they are.
The visit of Prime Minister Modi in this sector, that will be really a milestone for us, I guess. And India will lead, I hope and I wish.
I'm very excited for the Prime Minister's visit, and we are expecting a lot of good agreements and treaties between France and India.
Leadership is an inbuilt quality. Modi ji knows what leadership means. A leader is a manager, so he knows how to manage the country.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be coming here to take part in the Artificial Intelligence Summit, and whole Indian community is looking forward to seeing him in action, and they will be looking forward to more Indo-French friendship in the coming days. With camperson Rakesh, this is Taposh Bhattacharya for DD India from Paris.
Now in India's Bijapur, at least 31 Naxalites were killed in an encounter with security forces in the forests of the National Park area in Chhattisgarh's Bijapur. According to the officials, the encounter broke out in the forests on Sunday morning. 2 soldiers lost their lives while 2 others were injured in the gunfight. Search operation was ongoing in the area. A huge quantity of AK-47, SLR, INSAS rifle and explosive materials were recovered. The encounter comes a week after 8 Naxalites were killed in another Operation Security Forces that was launched in Bijapur district. India's Home Minister Amit Shah expressed heartfelt condolences to the families of 2 martyred soldiers who lost their lives in the Bijapur encounter. Minister Amit Shah wrote on microblogging site X that India lost 2 brave soldiers in the effort to end anti-human Naxalism, adding that India will always be indebted to these heroes. The Home Minister reiterated the resolve to eradicate Naxalism from India before March 31st, 2026. India's Vice President Jagdeep Dhankhar is on a one-day visit to Rajasthan's Chittorgarh. During his visit, Dhankhar addressed the Jat Mahasabha program in the district. Before the program, Dhankhar also visited the Lord Shiva shrine. Earlier, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankhar was welcomed by Bhagirath Chaudhary, India's Minister of State for Agriculture and Farmers' Welfare. Bhagirath Chaudhary is the Lok Sabha MP from Chittorgarh. CP Joshi, Rajasthan's Minister Babulal Kharadi and other dignitaries on his arrival at Chittorgarh in Rajasthan today. Now, Aam Aadmi Party's leader Tishi tendered her resignation as Delhi's Chief Minister on Sunday following her party's loss in the Assembly elections. The Aam Aadmi Party leader submitted her resignation to Lieutenant Governor V.K. Saxena at the Raj Niwas. Tishi was serving as the Chief Minister of Delhi since September last year. Her elevation to the topmost position came after Kejriwal announced resignation from the post, days after resigning from the chief ministerial position. The BJP won a historic mandate in Delhi polls on Saturday, returning to power in the national capital after 27 years, ousting Aam Aadmi Party. Meanwhile, Delhi Lieutenant General Governor V.K. Saxena has dissolved the 7th Legislative Assembly of the National Capital Territory of Delhi with effect from today. The dissolution of the assembly paves way for the formation of a new government in the national capital under BJP's leadership. BJP leader Parvesh Verma, who defeated the Aam Aadmi Party chief Arvind Kejriwal in New Delhi seat in the Delhi Assembly elections, visited his ancestral village in Delhi's Mundaka and paid tributes to his father and former Delhi Chief Minister Sahib Singh Verma on Sunday. The BJP leader offered floral tributes to his father and vowed to complete all the unfinished work of his father as the BJP gears up to form the national capital's government, a first in 27 years for the party.
सारी सीटें भारतीय जनता पार्टी की झोली में गई है। एक बार फिर से 1993 वाली याद ताजा हो गई है। मैं पूरी भारी दिल्ली को, सारे गांव देहात को हाथ जोड़कर आपका धन्यवाद करता हूं कि आपने एक एक सीटें भारतीय जनता पार्टी को जिताई और हमारी सरकार बनी। ये सरकार दिल्ली देहात के लिए अच्छा काम करेगी, पूरी दिल्ली के लिए अच्छा काम करेगी। हमारे प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के विजन को आगे बढ़ाएंगे, दिल्ली में लेकर आएंगे।
And DD India correspondent Akshay Dongre joins us live for more updates. Thank you so much, Akshay, for joining us. Good evening. Now, BJP comes back to power in Delhi after 27 years. Tell us the latest that is passing after elections victory. We also learned the fact that JP Nadda met party supremos today.
Well, activities certainly are happening, Deepika, not only in one camp, but in both the camps, the major political camps in Delhi. Now, it's the Bharatiya Janata Party as well as the Aam Aadmi Party, both. But after losing this election, Aam Aadmi Party is disorganized right now. There have been questions that are being raised internally inside the party as well as among the workers as well. And now there are anticipation as well that the party chief will be moving toward Punjab, the only other state that they rule. However, for the Bharatiya Janata Party, it's another kind of preparations going on, and that is for our government formation. You have rightly mentioned that after 27 years, BJP has formed a government in Delhi, and this is for the first time during the Prime Minister of Prime Minister Modi. Delhi has come under Bharatiya Janata Party's control. So for the first time in this century, at least, there is BJP as in center and the state level too. So who will be the chief minister? There are questions that who is going to head what, who is going to head the health ministry, who is going to head the education ministry, other departments of the Delhi government that were run by the Aam Aadmi Party for the last 10 years and the Congress Party for the last 15 years. So that is the kind of preparation that's ongoing inside the party right now. And there are now, questions that are also being raised by the other people that the party which has led the election in the face of Prime Minister Modi, who will be the chief minister of the party as far as the government formation is concerned.
Who are currently in fray for the top post, the CM post right now from Delhi, Akshay?
Well, Deepika, if one thing we have learned from, the Bharatiya Janata Party as far as their way of working is concerned, almost chief ministers who have become chief minister of states from BJP ruled government, they have all been surprising names, and there were a lot of anticipation earlier as well, and there is anticipation this time too. But let me assure you that in the BJP at least nobody is openly talking about their ambitions to become the chief minister, because party leaders also are aware that the decision will not be taken by one individual, but it will be taken in a proper manner as far as BJP's committees are concerned, BJP's structure as an organization is concerned. So as of now, no names can be confirmed in the poll fray. Because one thing that we have learned is that the anticipation and the kind of the guesswork that happens ahead of this kind of a decision, it has always almost failed when it comes to the BJP.
All right, thank you so much, Akshay, for joining us and bringing us the latest. Moving on, the 5-day Aero India 2025 is set to commence in Bengaluru from the 10th of February. The 15th edition of the biennial event will show spectacular flyovers, aerobatic performances and cutting-edge technological exhibitions. Aero India is India's premier aerospace and defence exhibition. It is a flagship event that brings together global industry leaders, government officials, technology experts and defence strategists under one roof. The event not only showcases the nation's technological prowess and innovations, but also provides a dynamic platform for international cooperation and strategic dialogue. In addition to the aerial displays, Aero India 2025 will showcase over 800 exhibits from more than 15 countries. India's National Capital Region Transport Corporation or NCRTC commenced trial runs on an additional 6-kilometer section of Namo Bharat train between Meerut South and Shatabdi Nagar in Meerut on Sunday. With this, Namo Bharat trains will bring the operational corridor closer to the centre of Meerut city. This additional 6-kilometer section will have 2 metro stations at Pratappur and Rithani apart from Shatabdi Nagar Namo Bharat station. Once this section is operational, Namo Bharat trains will provide passengers with a fast and efficient travel and reducing the 61 kilometers journey time to less than 45 minutes. And now let's get you all the latest from Maha Kumbh. The ongoing Maha Kumbh in the holy city of Prayagraj in the state of Uttar Pradesh continues to draw devotees from across the globe to witness and participate in one of the largest religious gatherings across the world. Devotees are flocking to the Maha Kumbh Mela Kshetra to take a sacred dip in the Triveni Sangam, experiencing the spiritual significance of this ancient and grand event. According to the UP government, around 8.4 million devotees took the holy dip at Maha Kumbh on Sunday. More than 420 million devotees have taken the holy dip at Maha Kumbh so far. Maha Kumbh 2025 commenced on Posh Purnima, which was 13th January, and now is the world's largest spiritual and cultural gathering, attracting devotees from across the globe. India's President Draupadi Murmu will visit Maha Kumbh in Prayagraj on Monday. During her day-long visit to Prayagraj, the President will take the holy dip and offer prayers at Triveni Sangam. She will also offer prayers at Hanuman Temple and pay a visit to the Digital Kumbh Anubhav Centre as well. You're watching DD India NewsHour and now it's time to get you all the latest from the world of sports. To begin with the National Games, Services Sports Control Board dominated the 38th National Games which is underway in India's northern state of Uttarakhand. They remain at the top of the tally with 71 medals with an unmatched performances in their discipline. Karnataka is second with 30 gold, 12 silver and 16 bronze medals, while Maharashtra is at the third place with overall 113 medals. Host Uttarakhand has also given an impressive performance, securing 6th place with 62 medals. It includes 14 gold, 22 silver and 26 bronze medals. The home advantage and crowd support have fueled their best ever showing. Haryana with 72 medals and Madhya Pradesh with 50 medals are also involved in the intense competition with other states in fray. And Narayan Singh joins us from Uttarakhand with more inputs on national games. Good evening, Narayan. Now Maharashtra once again continues to remain in the top 3, though this time at the 3rd positions. Which are the other sports which have remained the highlight of this edition of national games, Narayan?
Good evening, Deepika. Wonderful games are happening here in Uttarakhand. As you know that 11 venues are there and fantastic performances by the athlete across all disciplines. Especially today the track and field events is happening here in the track and field ground, and a wonderful track and field ground you can see behind me, and the race 1500 meter race is taking place, and which is the last event of the day. And earlier in the day we witnessed Jyoti Yaraji winning the gold in her event, and after that the way the fantastic performance also we saw in the different events like 200 meter yesterday, and the way the Odisha's fantastic athlete who looks like a Jamaican athlete, the way he performed yesterday in the 100 meter race and won the gold. And definitely it's looking like that these events are not then a national event but an international event, because we saw the athletes who participated in the Olympics, they also performed here, especially in shooting. We saw that Ramita was there and many more names were there who performed here. And so most important thing and the most beautiful thing about these games is that not only the national athletes but the international athletes are also participating. And the way Deepika Kumari was there, she was sharing her experience with the new athletes who are coming, who are participating in the national games for the first time, and they are inspired by such athletes. Abhishek Verma in archery was there, who played in the 6 Asian Games and won medals in all 6 editions. So when such a confluence we see in the national games, definitely it's a boon for the sporting culture of the country. And now we are witnessing, we can say that people are coming here national games to a full crowd is there when we went to the basketball arena when the events are over. But we can say that it was a jam-packed stadium, and the technology used in these games, we can say that is of international standard. Talking about this track, which is advanced track, it's a smart track. It has 3 layers under the top surface. There are the smart chips, there are the, we can say that microchips are, so that the tracking of the athletes can be done through its initial stage, to the middle and towards the end of his running.
All right, thank you so much, Nayan, for joining us and bringing us that comprehensive report. In cricket, England are in trouble after going 6 wickets down against India in their second ODI in Cuttack. Joe Root was going well after scoring a half-century, while Jos Buttler was dismissed by Hardik Pandya. Ben Duckett also helped England get off to a solid start with 65 of 56. He stitched 81 runs for the opening wicket with Philip Salt. Meanwhile, star batter Virat Kohli has returned to India's playing 11. He came into the mix and replaced one-match-old Yashasvi Jaiswal as Shreyas Iyer retained his place in the team. Apart from this, spinner Varun Chakravarti has also earned his maiden ODI cap. The National Disaster Relief Forces organised a cycle marathon in New Delhi on Sunday. The campaign aims at giving a message to the soldiers and people to remain fit and have a healthy lifestyle. Here's more.
The country's crisis response force, that is the National Disaster Relief Force, organised a cycle marathon in the capital city of New Delhi on Sunday. Hundreds of NDRF personnel took part in the campaign with the aim to spread the message of fitness and a healthy lifestyle. NDRF Director General Piyush Anand flagged off the cycle marathon. Speaking on the occasion, he said that such campaigns give a message to the countrymen to adopt a healthy lifestyle.
NDRF का मूल मंत्र रहा है फिटनेस ऑफ द रेस्क्यूअर्स। तो उसी क्रम में हम लोग पूरी कोशिश करते हैं कि हमारे रेस्क्यूअर्स जो ऑलरेडी बहुत फिट हैं, सारे CAPF से आते हैं, उनकी फिटनेस हम लोग मेंटेन रखें और उनको और बेटर रखें।
The soldiers taking part in the marathon also said that fitness is very important for a healthy lifestyle.
सर ये हमारा जो NDRF का राष्ट्रीय आपदा मोचन बल का जो फर्स्ट मोटिव ये है कि जो हमारी शारीरिक क्षमता है, जो हमारी जो फिटनेस है, उसके प्रति हम लोगों को जागरूक करना, और जो आजकल की युवा पीढ़ी है उसको मोटिवेट करना कि अपनी फिटनेस के प्रति किस तरह से आप सजग रह सकते हैं, जागरूक रह सकते हैं।
It is worth noting that while the central government's Fit India campaign is inspiring people to adopt a healthy lifestyle, the NDRF is also promoting the government's Fit India movement through such campaigns. There's absolutely no doubt that such campaigns will definitely strengthen the Fit India campaign of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Sandeep Bhatt's report for DD India.
And before we close, let's get you some interesting visuals. North Korea marked the 77th anniversary of the Korean People's Army on Saturday with vibrant musical and dance performances in Pyongyang, highlighting a blend of artistic expressions and national pride. And that's all for this edition of DD India News Hour. But do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download it right now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Deepika, and from all of us here in New Delhi, thank you so much for watching DD India News Hour. Namaskar.